Excuse me. Okay, so um, this evening's adventure takes place in the twin towns of Ogundum and Lutula, on the border between fear and shame. Um, Fear is the Dracona-controlled principality that has been granted to the Dracona by the Infernus for some 200, close to 250 years now. Um, Shame is run by the Elder races. It's a nation, an empire technically, that has been composed of orcs, elves, humans, gnomes, all of the elder races that we're real familiar with from Dungeons and Dragons. Those are the ones who ran the entire continent before things started going wonky just about 1,000 years ago. Um, Ogundam and Lutula were mirror images of one another. Each one was a border town and a military camp, but Ogundam on the Fear side of the border had a much larger military presence, a bigger garrison. It was the coordinating point of all the defenses along the western half of the migration route. When the Infernus started pushing everybody out of the eastern countries, they set up a route that passed from hate through fear and into shame, all the way across shame over to uh, safe and joy. And It was Lutula's responsibility to supervise the passage through shame, because at the border, Dracona couldn't do it anymore. They would be passing into enemy territory, or at least contested territory. And so to keep things at a military standstill, to keep things from turning into an actual fight, uh, the Kingdom of Hate negotiated with Shame that we'll hand off all of our refugees to you guys. You guys can see them where they should go to from there. So to that end, one Dracona was promoted to the position of Border Lord, and that was Dracian Mireblight, the father of Drakko. I'm going to say it correctly eventually, I promise.
It's all good.
Drakko Mireblight at the time. And Dracian was something of a mediator. He was the border lord, and he made it his responsibility to protect that border at all costs, using sometimes iron-fisted techniques. But he also was fair, and he wanted things to be better for the draconic races. To that end, he hosted sometimes a couple of times a year, 2 and 3 members of the households of the higher families of Dracona, both political figures, merchant figures. That he would invite them to his home for a few weeks, and or sometimes as long as an entire season, and they would just sit and talk politics and policy and how to be better, how Dracona can stop the infighting that has persisted to the detriment of the race. Dracian's personal belief was that the Dracona should never have been so weak as to have been absorbed into the Inferius Empire. And he saw that our infighting was the reason they were able to gain the leverage that they did, to prevent that from happening, and hopefully to eventually build the Dracona race to the place where they could step out from under the shadow of the Infernus. He was doing these advances. Um, it's what he called his retreats, but Dracona do not retreat. So he would have these advances, and they'd last for sometimes up to 6 weeks. And the entire family of his invitees, the people who he called to participate, would be brought along with. And he was influential enough that for a family to turn that down would be like, why would you do that? It could be perceived as an insult, uh, a brick-headed move, because Dracian the Mireblights were famous not just because of Dracian's proficiency with politics and military maneuvers, but also because the Mireblights were the first Dracona family in the history of Dracona, nearly 500 years of history, to manifest acid breath. It was a brand new thing that hadn't been seen since the actual big winged dragons had flown over the face of fear. So he was famous, he was well known, he was moneyed, and he was could eventually. Some people saw him as being maybe even a challenge to the King of Fear, the Dracona King, whose name currently escapes me.
Haze Claw.
Haze Claw, yeah. Know your stuff better.
It's only been 5 or 6 days or maybe
Yes,
weeks.
since I wrote it. Scaling Haze Claw. Yeah. Um, so, um, so your family, uh, the family of yes, Chris's Cinder Scale. Your dad, Azray Cinderscale is a merchant baron. He owns multiple outlets throughout the Draconic, throughout Fear. He imports materials. He has them turned into products, and then he sells those products. Um, so your father and the rest of your family have been invited to come spend the season at the Mireblight estate, along with uh, Vorjal Firetooth, whose son is Narsa, or whose daughter is Narsa. Narsa is a red dragon. You've seen the pictures there. She's a red dracona. She's full of attitude. She is just bold and brazen, are the two best descriptors for her. She is attitude and bravery and bluster sometimes, to the point of foolhardiness. But she's always game for whatever the boys have planned. And on the rare occasion when she's been successful enough at your ventures over the course of this season, where she's taking control of the adventuring group that you guys have built together, the Horns of Fear, um, she's had some pretty good ideas of how to keep yourselves occupied. Um, on this particular day, Chrysis, you had a thought last night. You thought, let's have a real adventure. You thought it might be super duper fun to sneak across the border from Ogundum into Latula. Latula is populated by fat, slow, stupid elder race guys who hate their jobs, have no interest in doing it, and you should be able to sneak into town and collect a trophy. It's not a trophy that's been placed there, it's a trophy that one of you or all three of you will find and bring back to the headquarters. Whoever comes back with the best trophy will be the commander of the Horns of Fear for their next adventure. Narcissus down. I'm so with that. I can do it. I'm sneaky, I'm fast, I'm good with that. Um, I have no idea what I'm gonna find, but it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna have to be small, right? Because we're not gonna be able to carry anything big back up the roads. The road is almost 3/4 of a mile long, between Ogundum and Latula. Um, but I think I can find something. What do you think, Draco? What do you think about?
It's going to be dangerous to go across, but he's right. They're, they're slow. They don't pay attention. I think it's something you should be able to get away with. You need to be careful though.
You, out of all of us, you have to. I mean, I'm fast enough. I don't think I need to worry about anything. I'm quick, but if you take a misstep, your dad's going to be all over you.
Yes, but that's why I won't get caught.
Big words, mister. Pretty big words.
Gotta be sneaky. Don't have to be fast as long as you stay out of their sight.
I think we can do it, Kristen. I think we can do it. I, I think it's a good idea. So you break up just for an hour or two to get ready, put on your leathers and your sneaking boots. And now I have to actually do the goddamn map.
It's getting past our guards that I'm worried about.
Come on. That's the words we're running up here. Yeah. Yes. Little bizarre that they have going. Happens to be a trader in town, but it's nighttime by the time you get there, so all these tents are gonna be lit up. Bless you. So I'd say bless you. I guess. And okay. Yeah, I agree. See? You 3D printed these bases, didn't you? for the coin?
No, for the
Yes. For the figures, yeah. Night falls. The families have their dinners. You guys have an awesome banquet meal because there's so many of you there, brothers, sisters, mom. I don't know. I don't think Christmas's mom would have come. It'd just be you and your dad. Um, but Tanavir runs a good house. And Dracian is a loving husband and a good host. So everybody has plenty to eat. There's a two-man troubadour team that Dracian has held on retainer for the season. So there's always a little bit of music whenever everybody's gathered. And eventually, once the night's celebration has passed, it's time to fold up the streets and bid your good evenings. And the house settles down into their rooms and suites. And eventually, seems like everything's quieted down enough that you can begin the process of exiting the house. So, what I will ask from all of our sneakers is a finesse check. And I roll as a character for this. So you're rolling your duality dice, your two d12s, and we are looking to beat neither do I. So you're not alone.
At least it's not a -1.
And that's something that I failed to realize is that we're working with a little bit lower margin of error because our characters are where they are. I have put the target number here. Go ahead and roll. You should be starting with 2 hope, by the way. Everybody starts the game with 2 hope.
Sure.
Just making sure that that is correct. All right. What did you roll?
Okay, it's the combined, right?
Right. Add them together.
10.
10 with
The higher die?
the higher die. Was it your hope?
Yeah, that would be.
So that was a 10 with hope. Go ahead and take your hope. Add a hope to your hope bar there. Good. Unfortunately, that was a fail.
Hmm.
All right, let's pack it up. Go ahead. What did you roll?
Roll a 7 with hope.
A 7 with hope. Go ahead and take a hope. I rolled a 24 with hope. 22, sorry, 22 with hope. That was a 12 on my hope die, a 10 on my fear die. So Narsa is like out at the stables behind the house.
Waiting.
Waiting.
She knew she was good for it.
So just for keeping things interesting, I am going to have to make another stealth roll in order to get back into the house and go to bed.
Because we lost today.
That was a 14 with fear.
Ooh.
There's already one in. Oh wait, no, there's supposed to be 2 in. And now there's 3. It starts with 1 fear per PC. Just like you guys start with 2 hope each, I start with 1 fear per PC. I'm not counting myself because I don't want to. I'm not trying to choke you guys out. um. So 14 beats a 13. She makes it in, no problem. Oh wait, but it was with fear, so we added that in. Okay, cool. So she gets in. Um,
Mhm.
and I kind of skipped two important steps here. So, um, you have to forgive me. This is my first time GMing in 30 years. So
It's
the important
also-
step.
It's also the first time we're playing this specific game with these characters.
Yes, it's all brand new. So you go to touch the door. You go to open the door to step out of your bedroom, get into the main hall that will take you to the door of the suite that'll take you out into the main house. All that goes fine. All that goes fine. But as you make your way towards the side door that you had decided to take to go out into the estate yard to go meet up at the stables, uh, the housekeeper, Eldris, uh, turns a corner and it's like nose to nose with you.
Ah!
Master Chris's. Do you need some water, some snacks? Is there everyone's in bed for the evening? What? How can I serve you?
Ah, I'm sorry, I got like just a major headache going on that like I was just thinking stepping outside for just a little bit, fresh air, the whole thing. Maybe it's a little fresh me up.
It might, but I have my mother. She was an herbalist, and she gave me the perfect recipe for some powder that I think will go nicely in a mulled wine. And between the two of them, a little mulled wine for you. Don't tell your father. And some of this powder, she leads you over into the kitchen. She starts pulling stuff out of counters and puts a cup on a metal cup on a long handle out onto the fire and lets that warm up, and then she takes a bottle of wine and pours it into the hot cup, and it steams. So the coolness of the wine warms itself as it pours into the hot cup, and then she gives it a couple of sprinkles from a pouch that she pulled, uh, hands that over to you. She says, "Take that up to your room, dearie. Take a few sips. Don't go taking it to your head now. You'll wake up in the morning with a fiercer headache than you have now. I'll be off with you, dearie. We'll see you in the morning. Already got a fine breakfast prepping for you right this moment. Off with you. Off with you." Now, even though you are, what, 19, 20 years old, uh, yeah, Narsa's 19, you're still technically, in the eyes of the draconic culture, who live to be about 350 years, you're about 8.
Okay.
You can
Baby.
speak with the articulation of a human at the age of 19 years. But as far as your life experience within the Draconic culture, you're an 8-year-old. You ain't done nothing yet. So you're not. This is not you being treated like a child. This is you being treated like normal. So you begrudgingly go back to your room, but squirt some wine.
Yeah. Not sure that.
Right? There is an upside to it.
We can talk about that in the morning at least.
Yeah, fucked up, guys. But I got something cool. Sorry, can't share.
Draco, as you are pulling your boots on and making sure that your cloak is settled on your shoulders, there's a knock on your door.
I drop the cloak and tell them to come on in.
I have already forgotten your mother's name.
Tinevere.
Tanavir. Yes, thank you. Tanavir peeks the door open and you see her snout peeking around and she looks at you and sees boots, riding leathers, cloak on the bed.
Hi, Mom.
My love, you're slow in getting undressed. Please see yourself to bed. You do it now.
That's fine.
You hear the door close. You hear uh, footsteps take about 3 steps away, and then 3 steps back. And on the other side of the door, you hear click, click, thunk. Mhm.
She walked me in.
And then 3 steps away again. We're definitely going to have to try this again tomorrow. So the night passes. How do you take that wine?
Mm. Mm. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna take the first couple of sips, kind of let it settle, get a feel for it.
Mhm.
Ugh, high or low?
Well,
I do not chug it.
Wow. Very responsible of you.
This one.
All right. So,
the echo in the back of the. You'll have a worse headache.
right. You do get a nice little lip buzz going. You can feel the tingle in your lips, and every now and then while you're lying in bed before you fall asleep, you're like, no, no, no. And eventually, the wine helps you rid yourself of your frustration and the tension of having been caught. And yes, you end up lumbering the rest of the night away. The next morning, at breakfast, both of you under the table, several times during breakfast, feel leather soles kicking into your shins. When Narsa makes eye contact with you, she just goes, Howard,
No.
oh, clumsy.
So not all of us can be special like you.
Well, that's a very good point. Still not forgiven. Despite your good logic. She grabs a muffin, chewing it angrily. It seems like it was actually a good thing because Narsa realizes that for all the weeks that we've been spending, and well, I'll just be Narsa now, for all the weeks that we've been spending here, we haven't looked down that road once. We don't know what to expect. We can see the outline of of Latula. It's close enough that we can see it, but we can't actually. We haven't bothered to look. Is the way in being patrolled? So let's take today and just spend the day on the road, as close to the edge of the border as we can, doing swords fights or something, and keep our eyes on how that access is being monitored by the fat lumps.
Okay. That's a fair idea. They may have changed something since the last time Father got an update.
Or they may have gotten fatter, slower, stupider.
Who knows? Maybe we could just walk up to him and throw a rock.
Would not suggest that one. While I was raving about one of them kissing on the border. A couple months back.
Well,
You forgot about that.
That's awesome. That was Narsa laughing. She was like,
let's just go play some airboarding.
we might do that also. I'll be waiting for you guys to get to come back across anyway. I might just piss on that border myself.
You better squat pretty low.
Well, anyways.
So you get a sense that during the day, at least, there's only one person watching that border gate that you can see. In fact, why don't you give me an instinct roll?
Okay.
Stand by while I. All right. Draco.
Remember those double sevens from earlier?
Really?
They came back.
Really? Dude, that is a critical success. And there was a very big secret that I was going to withhold from you for the entire night. But now I have to let you know that on that building, there is a stand built. And there is a guy with a bow in the stand on top of that house, right by the chimney.
Is he hiding behind the chimney?
Yep, that's where the stand is built. It's got a sunshade and everything. But you saw, just as because you've been keeping such a sharp eye on it, you managed to see the changing of the guard, where one guy with the bow went down, handed the bow off to the next guy, who climbed up. Could have left the bow up there, but then how would you have seen the bow?
Honestly, they should have their own.
This is the shame military.
Fair enough.
Ain't that a shame? So very important information gathered for the
Yeah.
evening to come. Chrisus, go ahead and give us a instinct roll. Instinct check. You get a hope, and you didn't have any stress, but definitely take that hope.
I think that's a 6.
I'm thinking so too, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
The dot. The dot's on the bottom.
I gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I got math. My brain shut.
No worries.
That's
What are the two numbers?
17. 11 and 6, and it's 17.
Right.
With hope.
With hope. Go ahead and mark another hope on your sheet. Very well. You see over the course of the 4 or so hours that you guys spend out there dreaming up shit to do to stay out there, you see that they change guard once every 4 hours.
Window?
Yeah. So as you guys compare notes, uh, you see that the archer stays up there for longer at a time. But he doesn't have to come down, and he doesn't have to march and do patrols or anything. He just sits up there in the shade, and so he's up there for probably. I mean, you were only up there for 4 to 6 hours, so he It was the same dude. You were there at the changing of the guard. And it was the same dude that went up there when on that second shift. So, um, so about every 4 hours is when the ground guy changes place with another guy. It's only one person on that gate, and he changes with some new dude to refresh up every 4 hours.
So I take it that was a success.
There was it was what it was. I don't I've forgotten what you rolled. I just don't see that
17.
17. It was a 16. So yes, it was a success. I'm glad that you asked because I am. It seemed high, and I forgot that I put this up there.
That's a, mine, mine was not technically a success.
7, yeah, 14, yeah.
14 plus 1. 15. But it was critical.
But it was critical, yeah. And it literally was critical.
So we have information. How's the where's my lunch?
Where's my food stuffs? Um, it, it, it is the habit of the household for during an advance. Lunch is usually served out on the front porch, and the front porch of the Mireblight estate. It was used to be a military building um, that housed soldiers and stuff, but now those are barracks that are built elsewhere in the town as the town has grown, and so the porchway that leads up is like used to be an assembly yard.
So large open space.
Yeah, so there's just food out there right around noon that gets brought out there by the kitchen staff. So you're not under any direct supervision. You don't have to, uh, you know,
Handfuls.
yeah,
No manners necessary.
exactly. And so you get to be able to talk and plot and plan and stay in character sometimes when you know when you're out on your Horns of Fear adventures. Um,
Sounds like fun.
So eventually, though the sun sets, it's still spring, so it's still nice and comfortable. It doesn't get really cold yet, not for another couple of weeks. But it is time to start heading in and pay respects to dear mom and dad, and put in the appearances for dinner, which all goes normal. The dads really tend to just kind of run their advanced conversations that started during the official hours of the advance down in over mealtime, and it's just they're not concerned really about how your day was because you're still alive and breathing, so obviously everything's fine.
Yes. Yes. Get that thing. Yeah. Typical dads of power and that age.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah.
um Canavere's a little more closely, attendant to your moods. Not necessarily like hovering. She's not a helicopter mom unless she feels like she needs to be, which kind of apparently she did last night. Um, but
Mother's instinct, I'm just saying.
yeah.
Bitch knew something was up.
For tonight, you can see that, and I've already forgotten her name and I didn't write it down. The kitchen lady, Elda, I think it was, or something like that, has brought out the mulled wine for everybody. Not for the kids though, obviously, but Tanavir has a couple of cups over the course of the meal and afterwards, so she's looking a little droopy-eyed by the time dinner comes to a close. The conversation about borders and politics and merchant policies and how you can turn your enemies into friends and how it's boring the fuck out of her tonight. Occasionally, yeah, she would sit back up straight and smile at you and wink at you and give a curt nod to me, Narsa. You can see that she's wary about Narsa's intention about the boys.
Bad influence on my son.
Or simply bad motivation. And with you being so close to dressed, that's really the basis of her concern for what was up last night. She's like, you ain't getting none on my watch, little boy.
I'm really gonna do anything.
So a kiss on the cheek to dad, a fierce hug from Narsa to her dad, and kiss on the cheek to her mom. You a kiss on the forehead to mom because she is currently not quite snoring.
Good night, mother.
And tell me about your relationship with your dad.
I look up to him a lot. I see what he's trying to do and what he's aiming for with the advances. And I agree with it, but I think he's going overboard. I think he's doing it too often. Aside from that, I want to learn what he can teach me regarding combat and military stuffs.
But not so much the philosophy.
I don't, having grown up in it, I don't see the need for it so much. I don't disagree with it,
All right.
but I see it all the time. I don't want that. I want the military training. I want
The stuff that's not at your fingertips.
Yeah.
All right. And how would you say good night to your father?
I would look for a handshake and a hug. That's about all I would look for.
All right. Well, he would give them to you. It wouldn't interrupt the conversation, and he would still be making his points to whoever it is that he's talking to, or still be focused on what it is that they are saying. But yes, there would definitely be that affectionate grab, and then that handshake, that hand clasp, followed by a little pat.
Cool.
And then you'd be able to move back towards wherever your goal is, whether
to bed.
I saw the air quotes.
I'm totally asleep.
All right. So this evening, let's do another set of what is this? This is finesse.
Critical success.
Critical success. You don't have any stress, which I should have given you some stress for your failures last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But so go ahead and take one, please. Narsa got out, so
take one, but wipe it off
did you critical succeed too?
earlier during the information gathering.
Oh, you're right. You're right. That would have cleared the stress. So yes, you're back net zero also. Okay, good. All right. So good.
Retroactively taken care of.
Yes. Thank you. So critical success. You managed to get your boots on. You don't drop one, thumb making a loud thump and attracting attention. You make it to the door. The door doesn't squeak.
There.
Right. You take that extra couple of seconds to listen before you start moving down the hallway. The hallway floorboards don't creak. everything goes exactly as you would have planned in your best day drinks. And eventually you find yourself out at the stables before Narsa's even there, because Narsa still hasn't rolled. Okay, so what
An 18.
an 18 with
Oh,
you took your hope as well
So I get another
from this crit?
critical success gives you a hope as well.
Yes, and if you had a stress, you would clear that stress. And that was hope for you too?
That was with hope for me.
Right on. And an 18 means you're clear sailing. You knew mom was going to be out. You know Elda's habits for wandering the halls in between. You think that might have something to do with a small vial that she keeps at her belt.
Okay.
She doesn't want to do it in the kitchen while she's working, but she will sneak out and tip it into her mouth a little bit and then take a turn around the hall and straighten something and then go back into the kitchen. But you know that habit. You've grown up in this house with her. She's been with your family since forever. So, given that you know the house so well and you weren't immediately intercepted by a hawkish mother, you managed to make it out the side door and to the stable where you find. Why can I never? I named you. Chris's. You and Chris's
Crystal.
posted up by one of the horses. Um, how do you pass the time while you're waiting for the others to get there?
Can I play with my weapon?
Absolutely, sure. You've got a longsword and a whip. Which one are you practicing with?
She does not. That's Narsa.
You're right. I'm looking at. Sorry,
Man. Yeah, all I've got is
Gomez.
the axe. The axe.
The hallowed axe and the shield. That's right.
The thing you can come back.
Yeah. Okay. I see. I see
So,
what
so
you're doing there.
that's what he's practicing. How far can he get this to go?
You're gotcha. You're playing frisbee with yourself
Yes.
with your axe. All right. Right, so out into the shadowy night where you're expecting two people to arrive, and one of them catches it in the snoot. Right on.
Rolling at that one.
I'm going to ask you because you are doing something that is potentially loud. You're out at the stables. If you miss and drop, it could end up causing a problem. So, can I please get we'll call it an attack roll?
Still the 2 dice, right? This
Yes.
is pretty much your main rolling.
Finesse control.
It is strength. An attack roll. The hallowed axe uses strength, so she's not. She's trying. She had already said she's trying to find out how far she can get it out. So it's a strength test.
It's almost another. So innocent that would be. So that's 22.
With
Hope.
hope, take another hope.
That maxes out my hope.
Awesome. You are maxed out.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
I've got 5 already myself, so.
So I'm just trying to make sure you guys are.
Yeah. That's totally what it is.
Our dices are like.
This is the story. This is the story the dice wanted to tell. Everybody failed. We have to do it twice. So yes, it was a relatively low target number for you because you're out in the middle of the stables and really the only person you would have bothered, the only creatures you would have just bothered would have been the horses in the stables, and they balk at chickens. Narsa rolled a 12 with hope. That target number was a 12,
Okay.
if you'll recall. So
You didn't show.
I didn't.
No.
What a dumbass. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
You got to remind me of that stuff. You see me taking it
will.
away, even if I'm talking. You gotta.
I will. I'll start looking at it.
Yeah. And that is only my first hope for the night, isn't it? No, that's my second hope for the night.
Yeah, because you succeeded with the first time.
Yeah. So Narsa ends up uh, having made the trip last night. She's kind of just smarmily walking up. Oh, fancy meeting you here. Oh, what a surprise to see you here. Thank you for deigning to join us on this beautiful evening.
Bugger off.
Guys ready?
Yes.
The call.
So, let us go back to the 3 or 4 hours, or 4 or 6 hours that we spent on the border. What kind of plan did we put together to solve the problem that Draco had mentioned earlier? How do we get by our own border guards? Can I ask for a couple of moments to smoke a cigarette? If you guys want to plot that out and then fill me in, and then I'll tell you how Narcissus. Or yeah, I can listen here.
We're getting past the main guards. Shouldn't be too hard going away from the road.
Right.
Is it grasslands?
Yes, this is grasslands. There are occasional bushes, but the bushes are clumpy and dense. Not a tree to be seen, no. Not a tree to be seen until you get to the hillside. Once you're on the other side of the border, there's a fairly tall hillside around which Lutula is built at the base. And that has a lot more growth over it.
Okay.
But it is spring. It is in spring right now, which means the grass is tall.
So you probably don't have trying.
Chris is suggesting army crawling.
Narcissus down. It's dark, so that may be a little bit of overkill, but given the way you guys screwed up last night, it might not be uncalled for.
I'm Draco is merely suggesting that whatever we do is away from the road.
Narcissus like, obviously. Go tromping up the road. We might as well be shade guard ourselves.
Your shakings. Yeah.
Okay, so like crouching through the grass a decent ways from the road sounds like what we're aiming for.
All right. So now we're getting into danger territory. So let's just take a quick reminder of what you can do with hope. The things that you can do with hope, you can help an ally. It gives them, I believe, a D6 to help an ally. It gives them advantage, which is a D6 to your roll. You can use one of your experiences that might be appropriate. Right now, each of you should only have one, I believe.
Yeah, the only one that would apply for me is Father's talking, but really, I don't know how applicable that would.
Yeah, he wouldn't be into like commando tactics, so he wouldn't have taught you anything like that.
And we were already talking about it being negotiation on his opinions.
Right. And then you could also use hope to activate one of your hope features. For Chrysis, the main hope feature is those prayer dice. Is that right? Oh no, life support. You can clear hit point on an ally within close range. And so if anybody takes damage, you get close enough to them, you can spend 3 hope and pump them with a hit point. Have you rolled your prayer dice? Is it your
I did earlier and I rolled a 3, so.
okay? And you have that marked on your you clicked manage dice and then added the 3. And then also click the perception box or the per session box to show that you have used it this session. Awesome. And I saw it click. That's cool.
So it is updating live.
It is. Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
And it's the one to say.
I believe I had actually done a test roll on and put the 3 in. That's why it was already 3 there. Or
No, I put there.
you did it. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and do another finesse roll to make sure that we don't blow it on the way up to the actual border gate, which is one of those.
Right.
And that is about just a little bit more than a quarter of a mile away. And it's a nice straight. We're in the grasslands, and the hill doesn't start until much further down the road after that border gate, after that the border crossing. So let's go ahead and give another finesse roll.
Don't give us a difficulty.
Oh, right. Thank you. Difficulty has been assigned. And let's start with Draco.
Critical success.
Again.
9 this time.
Hot damn, you are rolling hot this evening, sir. Beautiful. You are through. And that is going to add, for the purposes of not ruining this encounter, it's only going to add 1. So you are down in it. You're moving fast. You're keeping your tail controlled, so you're not making wide swaths through the grass, leaving waves. You are,
I've studied our guards well enough. I know.
and you grew up in this grass.
Yeah.
So
big deal.
yeah, it's pretty easy for you. Is there anything special that you think you're doing to help?
No, I think you nailed it. It's would mostly just be controlling the tail, so it's not waving more grass than necessary.
Okay.
I think that's what it would be.
Right on.
Just keeping it streamlined.
Perfect. And Chris's
11 with fear.
11 with fear. You're not alone. I rolled an 11 with fear also, and the +1 that we were granted by his critical success is not enough for either of us to be able to succeed this test.
So when somebody gets a critical success, everybody else gets a.
In this case, I had already rolled my 11, so I decided as a DM, I'm going to allow that to give us an advantage.
Okay.
In Critical Role, Matt Mercer does this thing where if you roll high, that balances out the low roll. And so I'm kind of trying to find a way for that to be able to happen in Daggerheart as well. So I figure if you, particularly if you crit, then that was a D4 that could have been added to any failing die rolls to raise the average at least. It's still not enough because you and I rolled 11s, which brought it to 12, which means it wasn't a massive failure. But as you guys are, thank you, yes, because it was a 13. Um, uh, because we were a little bit Narsa's doing rolls because she thinks she's so slick. She's not used to that, and she's doing dun 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 dun. Doing combat rolls, thinking she's being sneaky about it, but every time she does that, you guys can hear as this great swath of grass, tall grass, goes bending down underneath her. How? What do you think went wrong with your
The
trip?
version that came to my head is grasses. It has different level points, and I'm expecting there's going to be some getting up in my nose is causing me to kind of maybe sneeze here or there, you know. And that's what's causing me trouble because I'm not used to this grass.
All right. So between the two of us, we are attracting just enough attention, not from the people behind us, but from that dude up in front of us. Those actually technically there's two guys there because there'd be one from our side and one from their side. And I'm just now making that realization. Sorry, kicking myself psychically. Um, they start talking. You guys, they were just kind of chilling, but at one point, after a roll that happened while you were sneezing, one of them goes, "Hey, hey," and the other guy, what? Prick up your ears. And now they're paying attention. Had everybody succeeded, we would have made it all the way to the border crossing. But now we're gonna have to do another finesse check. That conversation was loud enough because Homie was obviously dozing. That the other guy had to shout a little bit in order to get his attention. We now know.
That they.
But because of that, target number is going to have to increase. There's. I am going to have to learn how to poker my face a little bit more.
No, I see the patterns in fate. So
Let's go ahead and give another super sneaky 10. We'll start with you this time.
Success.
Nice. Take a hope. You're full. So
Sorry, I'm just looking back over here and it's like
you were maxed out, but
yeah, I was maxed out and then it dropped it to 4 out of 6 and I'm like, what the what?
that was probably me thinking I was on Narset.
Ah.
That was back when I was still, yeah. How the hell did I get all the way up here? I didn't do anything. Which means this one is supposed to be up here by 1. Okay. Oh, and was I supposed to take any fear from any of these? Mine was a failure with hope. Was
But you said that
No.
both of ours was 11 with fear.
really, ouch.
Because I said 11 with fear. And then I swear you said you're not alone. I also.
You did use that word.
I did. So
But you only talked about 11.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. We'll go ahead and you know what? Because it was my mistake, I won't make you guys pay for it. We'll say it was with hope, and that way there's not a lot of extra fury in the pile. I'm sorry, that's my inexperience.
We're all getting used to this.
I know. I'm just gonna keep apologizing because that's what I
Jeez.
am.
Is any of this even recording?
Yes. Yes, we are recording right now.
Okay.
It's been an hour already?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. All right. So that was a critical success. Do you think you started doing anything? Found a way to be able to move through the grass without it agitating your nasal passages?
Ugh. Okay, this is gonna sound pretty funny, but the person that came to my head is I'm covering my rolling.
And now rolling. You found a way to roll without causing you like a crop circles. Narcissus like, how the hell are you doing that? It was slick and I was making a lot of noise. All right. Um, so that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You found a way to be able to make it through and it has paid off in spades. That's a critical success.
Ooh, I was rolling in the right direction.
I was so distracted by the guards talking and you two fucking up from the last one. I rolled a 10 with hope.
Oof. Okay. I rolled a critical success.
Both of you?
Both, yeah, it was double eights.
Oh,
It was, yeah.
awesome.
Damn.
For a 17. I rolled a 4 when I rolled to see how much that difficulty had increased. Yeah, you were not wrong. However,
You said, where's the D4 and then rolled. And I'm like, oh man.
your critical success added 3. My critical success only added 1. What does that bring you to now?
14.
14 out of 17. They are tracking you now.
Love that.
You are right now within probably about 60 feet of where they are. You are right at the edge of their perception, and neither of them is carrying torches. There are 2 lanterns that are hanging, one on each side of the border crossing, basically just lighting about a 30-foot diameter ring of light that just covers basically that main approach on both sides. So they don't have light working for them. Dracona do not have like night vision. That's not a thing that's on anybody's sheets. So they're not getting any bonuses to perception. But I do need to do these are these guys here. It's not a combat check, but I am going to roll a these guys don't have stats. So for this kind of stuff, that's something I'm going to need to learn how to manage. When an adversary needs to do a perception check. what stat? Well, there is no stat, so um,
So my first thought is analyze, which is a knowledge thing.
right, but they don't have agility, instinct, strength, presence, knowledge. They don't have. That's what I'm saying. When they don't have stats, they have a difficulty. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make an attack roll. It's not an attack uh, against your evasion.
Okay.
And this will be to spot you. So give me a number from 1 to 6.
From 1 to 6. 6.
This is the die I'm going to use. This is not an attack, so I'm not getting the attack bonus. Draco? I rolled a natural 20.
You. Fuck. Okay.
Over there! Over there! Look at the grass! Look at the grass! I can see him! Where? I don't get him. I don't see him. Or do I? What is your evasion?
11.
Oh, I got him! That was a natural 20 followed by a 14.
What about the big stick?
um, so at this point, these guys are both carrying spears and short swords. Or sorry, long swords. You know what? They're only carrying long swords. I was gonna be inventive, but it's right here on the sheet. So, Christus, what do you do? I'm just gonna start the ball rolling with you. You got two guys definitely locked on to where Draco is. You are nothing to them. You don't exist. With that critical, you are absolutely safe from their vision. What do you elect to do as they're beginning to make ready to run out and run him down?
Now remember, one of them is one of us. Just butts.
I don't know. Like my first thought is honestly to get to where he is and just say, "Fuck it, we're going home."
Okay, I'm going to read the text of your prayer dice. You can spend any number of prayer dice to aid yourself or an ally within far range. You are definitely within far range of Draco. You can use it to reduce incoming damage. That has not happened yet. You can add to a roll's result after the roll is made, or you can gain a hope equal to the result. We've already done the role play, so I can't say you can add to his. You know what? If you decide you want to, you can. I will allow you to spend that 3 to add it to,
The 14 that I ended up with.
which would put it at,
17.
and that's what that is, right?
That's what that is.
That's your one prayer dice for this session, but it would essentially reverse time.
In this specific instance.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that would use all 3 die.
Th-
Right?
That would use let me see here. To roll a number of d4s equal to your spellcast trait and place them on your character sheet. These are your prayer dice. You can spend any number of prayer dice. Yes, that would take it would be 1 die per one added to the roll.
So you would need all 3.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just do it.
Bump me up to 17 and they never saw me in the first place. What a really bad feeling that something just happened.
Something, another version of myself just made a horrible mistake.
Why am I so unfathomably mad at the two of you? For distracting me.
But I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's cool. All right. So this shows, because this is a learning session, this shows the value of what you can do with prayer dice.
Yeah.
In that moment, when he announced that he had rolled so low,
14, and we got the.
one of the options that was always there, this is not something that I invented for you, it's something that because necessity, we dug in and we read it. You absolutely can do things like add to another player's die roll with those prayer dice. Really valuable stuff.
Right.
So you managed to actually lose them in the tall grass. You sneak your way around, you take the long way around, and eventually you find yourself close enough to, let's go ahead and put ourselves on the map here.
What side?
We're on the path. And at the end of the path here, so that we can do a little bit of plotting and planning before. That curve, you see the bend in the road, is actually let's all be on the left side of that, closer to you, Bex, because that is the hill that is currently covering us from the archer on the rooftop.
Okay.
And Narsa breathing heavy because
All
that
of
that so yeah, exactly. So and also she's got this really weird feeling that something horrible could have happened. She looks at you guys, she goes, all right, so how do we how and you can see that energy, yeah, is starting to spill out from her.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to start by trying to calm Narsa down. If we're here, calm down before you fuck us up.
I'm good. I'm good.
Ready?
I'm good.
All right. So do we each want to pick a place, or do we want to go together to a place? Because this is a competition.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to go to the same place. We'll be picking from the same choosings. And
You know about the one dealer?
yeah,
Yeah, and we're currently hiding from him. But he is also mainly focused this way. Once we get past him, he's not going to be too focused on turning around.
she pokes her head around. we can see that there is a fire lit on the other side. It's like the fire that's supposed to be down inside the house is actually up on top of the house, shining off of the chimney and reflecting it back away from you guys. So you can see that the canopy and flickers of light off the canopy, but then there's that shadow, that stark shadow of the chimney itself. And so I can't see him. I can't see him. He's probably snoozing like a fat lazy slob.
Can you see a chair or anything?
Uh-uh. Not from this angle. No.
Right back for let's not leave out, but let's not take it lightly either. So I say we try and stay on this side of town where we can hide behind the buildings and put the building between us and King. At the very least.
So the big one at the end here, it looks like it's like the town hall. That's probably where the magister, law keepers, where they do their thing. Um, Back on this side is where the residences start. Beyond this
Okay.
point, business, stables, and then the bazaar for the cart keepers. We probably also live deeper within the city. Right now, all the tents are down over covering the goods, any good that may still be there. But you can still see that some goods are still on some of those carts. Even from here, you can see that there is still, this one here is still laden with fruit. It's just being covered. But because of the angle, you're actually looking down through where the canopy is lowered, because it's just tipped.
Right.
The tent canopy is just tipped forward. So you can see the mounds of fruit on that cart. Fruit's not a really worthy target, but there might be other stuff on those other cards.
Snacks.
Energy for what we're about to do.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with a snack. As long as they taste good. It's not, you don't grab the rotten one.
That's shame fruit. It's all rotten.
Probably.
And if it's not, it'll make you fat.
Definitely. All right. So Draco, at this point, is going to start trying to sneak this way on this side of town.
Okay, so the way that this is laid out, if that whole curve is the base of a fairly steep sloped hill.
Right. So
So
hill is here.
yeah, if you are walking straight from where you are, you're gonna be cresting the whole time.
Okay. So Draco does want to be going around the hill a little bit at least.
It's a pretty wide hill. It could be a quarter of a mile trip. Yeah,
Okay.
could add a lot of extra time on. So
So aside from understanding that there is somebody here, do I see anybody else over here? No.
no, there you can hear from that one there, the one right on the other side of your laptop. That one there, lights, fire, music coming from outside. That's likely to be a tavern. So you can hear music on the other side. And from where we are, we wouldn't even be able to get a light, get a view of the light in the windows, but we can hear the laughter and the music
I
coming.
can hear that there is something going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so with that said, I want to avoid the road.
I think we have to. And if we go across the road, we're just going to be in a big arc that's got that archer his eyes on us. We have to go around the hill.
You're up. Up's gonna be rough, but
So what direction are we facing? Let me look at Latula here, and that is west, which means the lightness of the setting sun, which is long past set. The moonlight will be actually coming from the south at this point. He said, randomly choosing a direction. But that is in our favor because that means that for
from the hillside.
exactly, we will be in the shade of the hill, as long as we don't go far enough
As long as we don't
to the
hit
other side. If we take the long way around, then we'll be able to approach any side here. But if you want to skinny up and still approach on closer to the fountain, we'll have a pretty good time up until we reach that edge of the map. That thing there. That yeah. Once we reach there, then we're gonna start being a lot more visible because of the crest of the hill and the way the light is going to happen.
Okay. So
Narcissus, like, I think we should just take the long way around.
okay.
It's only going to add if this is a circular hill.
It will add to our availability for where we can sneak too easily going.
Yeah, and it's only going to add maybe at most another half an hour if we're moving at a medium pace. So we're not under any kind of time crunch other than get back before everybody wakes up. So
And everybody just fell asleep. We're good. We got plenty of time.
what do you think, Chris's?
My God, Chris.
Like now I'm just being completely lost. Let's spray on the road.
We'll play nice this time. This
All right, so we add let's see here. Let's do one of these. And we'll multiply it times 10. We add 40 minutes. But that means we get to pick anywhere on that southern side of the map to be able to make our points of entry.
so Chris's. Chris's?
Yes. Oh no, Chris's is the yellow one.
Chris's. From where do you want to approach? You can tell that that one's a tavern.
Yes, we can absolutely tell that that's an active tavern.
Do we see horses?
Yes.
I see horses, but
Yeah, you know, they're it's open stalls.
If I come in this way, would Archer see? Or is
He would have line of sight, yeah. He would have line of sight. As soon as you step around that last horse stall, he would have, oh, well, let me see here. We're looking at probably a 45-degree slope, right? But it's the slope of the roof that he's
oh,
camped on, right? He's
so
basically set up in this 5-foot square, and as you guys are approaching, you'll be able to see because shadows work the way they do. The campfire is down here at the base.
actually goes into
Yeah, and he is facing in this direction, looking essentially through the fire, which is really bad for visibility, but because of the slope, that's how you can lay comfortably. But you would imagine that he'd probably peek over to be able to gain visibility if ever he heard anything on the other side. With the active tavern, that's probably not gonna happen until after the tavern shuts down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go that way.
Okay, so you're gonna there or what?
Well, on the edge and end up coming this way. I don't know
So
where
we
the
go ahead
door is for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So-
we're
so
not in
that
combat
part-
time, so you can just show me your route and
So I want to go right between these houses here, aiming to investigate this first stall here. Are there gonna be any windows right here?
yes.
Okay. Draco is planning on glancing through the windows to see if there's anything good there,
Okay,
but aiming for the stalls first.
right?
Check the easy stuff.
Ours is gonna come on the far side of the tavern, probably about 40. That's, yeah, a little bit more. There you go. And you can see she's eyeballing the municipal building.
Okay.
You can see her as she was approaching, she was craning her neck to be able to see, and then when the tavern started blocking her, she started speeding up.
Okay. Oh. You wanna go first?
Where's the door? To this one.
Let's find out. Stupid.
Doesn't work,
Doesn't
right?
line up that way, but because I said the little windows there. That window there. Yeah, that's actually a door.
Yeah, that's what that
I
was.
was thinking there was gonna be windows on these motherfuckers. That's where that door would be. Fireplace, yes, there is a window there. But as you creep through, you get a sense of the layout. Because you don't see the door, you have to assume that it's probably not on the stable side. And as you, you'd be able to assume that it's in this corner within the house there, so. But there is a window there.
Can I take it no window over on this side?
There would also be windows on that side as well, particularly in the corner opposite, in the same corner as the door, for a fountain view. Yeah. Is that your path?
Yeah. I'm gonna go that way and take a peek.
Okay, let's, just because of the position of the door, I'm going to move that forward so that there's egress. You can move anywhere in close range on a turn. If you choose to go far, up to far, you gotta make an agility roll. Between close and far, you gotta make an agility roll to be able to do it.
Okay. So that would be far. That she started over here.
Okay.
Make an agility roll. You have a difficulty to work against.
I like the
These are really
end
handy
of
for this.
here.
Yeah, actually they are.
So what?
It's an 8 with here.
It's an 8 with fear.
You get a few times.
Yeah, thank you. Ouch. What do you think happens? What do you think happens?
No, it's dark. My first thought is I tripped on something on the way over.
So it was owned by 2. And yet there is a bucket. There is a bucket because that's a fountain that water can be drawn from. So you go ahead and make an agility check to see if you fall or keep your footing. That is going to be come on, baby. What'd you get?
You got a 10 with hope.
Take your hope, and you end up on your ass. In fact, you end up taking that stumble from the bucket kicks forward and interferes with your next step, which tumbles you even further forward, and your ass is in the drink. So we hear racket, 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 thump, racket, racket, thump, and splash. What is your evasion?
That was a 9.
Yes. You want to see?
No.
Yeah, you do. That is a natural one.
He's asleep.
He is obviously focused on something else. There is a at that racket, the last horse in the stall neighs loudly, kicks the stall, and that all seems to kind of rationalize what happened in the mind of Homie up on the stand, and you can extricate yourself from the fountain. And we move to Draco. Oh wait, yeah, no, that I made the roll. That was me. I failed it. That goes to you.
So I'm going to examine this. Do I see anything interesting? Anything that might be worth trying to nick?
I'm rolling percentile.
Okay.
Up to 50. There's nothing worth that you would deem competitive.
Okay.
For the contract you're currently involved in.
Right.
Above 50, the value of that item increases up to 100, which would be the thing that you know no one can beat.
Cool.
62. There are tools,
Okay.
crafting tools. You can find a chisel set that seems like small enough that you'd be able to pack it into your belt pouch or tuck it into your belt. Or you could drop one. You can drop all of them and just take one out of the set. Mhm.
Um. I'm going to grab it, but I'm going to grab it with the idea of I will leave this if I find something else. So I'm going to grab it, but I'm not going to stop looking.
Gotcha. All right. Mark a chisel on your inventory. Narsa has to pass, so let's just, for narrative's sake, just because I said that there were residences here, I'm gonna go ahead and put a gap there. So Narsa came through and is hugging this wall here. There's a window on the other side of this house that she's kind of worried about, and she is scoping out that wall. Not a good one. Well, that's not quite right. I should have checked the other side. That was just doing them for.
To have rooms.
Yeah. Okay, that'll do for the purpose of the discussion. These obviously are not overturned bookcases, but
But they,
but they are there, had they been stood, but yeah. So looking through the window, she can see that the town hall has a reception area, has a working desk, and then reading areas, comes a consultation area, and a small library. And she is worried about the window on that side, so she's gonna take another moment to just turn around and observe that that is her turn. Chris's.
Step out of the fountain. And I'm just gonna take a hand at that skull.
All right, same deal. Up to 50. Nothing that you would deem worthy as being competitive, and then the value will be from 50 up, determining how valuable it is. There's nothing worse at that with a 41. It is just free.
Good feeling. Can I take one of the flutes?
Were you able to add a random item to your inventory? Okay, cool.
under managed, equipment, there is an add custom.
Awesome. Okay. I'm sorry. Are you fading?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. No, no worries. No worries. When it gets to be too much, you let us know.
This doesn't have to be one.
Right?
I know. I feel bad. It's like you just started.
Well, it's been close to 2 hours now. Yeah.
But I was asking, can I take one of the fruit?
Absolutely.
Fruit that looks interesting. Bite into it.
Sure. It's shame fruit, but it is fruit, and it's actually surprisingly good. Regardless of what Narcissus says about shame food, it's still food. And
Curious palate.
right, but it's not like strange fruit. It's still what is available from either the grasslands or from the merchants who pass through the grasslands carrying stuff from other areas where it's been grown.
Not as good as what we had for dinner, but.
Right.
Snack is okay.
That was a pretty easy distinction for you to make, so I will allow you to go ahead and choose your next destination. And
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna side. I got one. I'm like sitting here going, where's the door to this one? Like, no, that's probably where all the guards hang out. Hey, bro, my turn. Can I see if anything of interest out of either one of those?
So give me that is instinct, please. Instinct. And for this, it's nighttime. No one has dark vision.
10 with hope.
Unfortunately, you don't see anything. You can't even tell if it's good or not. You just don't have visibility from that angle.
I know. How is she supposed to roll a 91?
Oh, was it upside down?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was.
Okay.
We're good.
Have high standards. What can I say?
Successfully got.
Right?
Can I still move towards them then? Or do I have to wait?
You can absolutely still move towards it. Yes.
I'm
You,
just
you
gonna,
haven't done much movement yet, anyways.
I'm just gonna chill. Still there.
All right. We'll do the search on the next go
Yeah,
round.
fine.
Draco.
Drakko is going to start moving this way towards the
As
other
you
camp.
pass the corner,
Oh shit.
I would like for you to make a instinct. Wait, no, that's finesse, please. Hold on a second.
I see.
Got it.
That is a 14 with hope.
Tavern door opens, and a drunken man kind of stumbles out, leans up against the door, and begins walking towards Narsa, to where you saw her last.
Okay.
I need to do a.
Any chance I can see Narsa from here?
From where you are, you just stepped out of view from where she was. She was still scoping out that window. I need to roll that.
Good.
Yeah.
Fail now.
Yes.
All right. That drops it out.
So he is heading up this way, so you can continue doing what it was that you were doing.
So, was standing here, figure that should be about the end of my turn there.
Gotcha.
Just move one more block. I'm headed towards the next stall.
Gotcha. Just for shits and grins, I need to do that. And I need to do that. The roll is, I rolled it with a d20 because I'm in adversary mode, because I was thinking he might become an adversary. So I didn't get a fear or hope roll with that. So I just, whichever roll was higher on the one that I just made. The number I rolled doesn't matter because I had already succeeded. Oh wait, that was a critical success. So it was a 20. It's still counted as a critical success.
Oh,
All right, so Narsa has been thrown. She was deciding whether she wanted to continue risk going into the municipal hall or into the abode. But she was interrupted from that decision-making process. From what she gleaned, perception is that I'm just going to do the same thing I've been doing with the D100. See whether or not there's something worth going in for. There is something worth going in for, but it's not enough to make it worth breaking and entering into a residence. So she's not going to take that chance. Municipal building still seems like the better bet.
it had to have been like 51.
Right? It was a 55. So she's going to come down to, we'll call that stack of gold actually a window. And that is where her turn is going to end and where she has decided she's going to make entry. Or at least attempt to. Christus.
So for sure, searchy.
Gotcha. Making sure I got the right dice. I do. That is a weapons boost.
Cool. What shiny?
Many shiny. some big, heavy, shiny, some goldy, shiny. There are daggers. There are swords. There it is a a medium length dagger with a jeweled scabbard and a belt, all in one piece, just like within arm's reach of you right now. You can't believe that someone left that on a cart in the middle of the open, but that was a 95.
Hot damn.
Damn.
So should we?
Definitely the
Pretty sure we
shiny.
know who won.
Definitely the shiny Julie.
Gotcha. Go ahead and add a if you so desire. If you want to just make a handwritten note, you can do that too. But you have a jeweled dagger and scabbard and belt, worked leather with shiny brass rivets.
I had custody.
What is it called?
You can call it a jeweled dagger set. And that way we know that it's the dagger, scabbard, and belt. I'm definitely going to need to change camera height. My head is blocking. That's all you can see when I'm doing this. It's just me going back and forth. And then my head is completely absent. It's my shoulders. And they both move in opposite directions.
Love it.
It's ridiculous. So we're gonna have to figure out how to better do camera stuff. How did that happen? The map hasn't moved significantly, has it?
No.
So that means something had bumped the camera because the map has gone cattywampus.
No, I don't think the map's too moved. Oh, but this definitely feels like a flashback.
Good. Now the whole thing, you could go just a little bit more of what you were doing just a second ago. Good, perfect. And now the whole thing can slide maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches.
In or out?
Can you see what I'm doing?
Yeah, barely. Oh, but there's a clicking off.
What? But how that can't have.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the table. Maybe it's the whole table.
I can see that as an option.
It's got the whole thing visible now.
Is that decent?
It's close enough for now. Yeah. So at this point, Chris, you could just turn and bail out now and feel comfortable about it.
Yeah, no, that's what I feel like. Turning away and going back the way I came.
Hopefully it wasn't buckets on the way.
Right?
Good time.
All right. Okay, so you can begin your trek back to past the fruit cart.
Maybe it has been that movement.
Maybe it's back to better than it was when you sat down right now. So you put it back beautiful. All right, that's perfect. Draco.
I'm going to come about here and again.
Oh shit.
Wake up, baby. And examine the cart.
Gotcha. That is is that the tool card?
No, full cart's over here.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm
Gotcha.
examining a new cart.
Sorry.
You're good. Sounds like you're getting tired too.
That one has that one has had lots of jars, lots of hanging jars that have powders in them. There's a couple of them that you can see that have liquids in them, but I mean, like maybe medicinal stuff, maybe herbalist stuff, but you can't actually, you don't have enough experience in this dark, nothing's actually identifiable.
Okay. So that it's just gonna look like a lot of nonsense to me that I'm not gonna be able to tell one way or the other. Okay. So with that, are there any windows by this door here?
Yes, there will be one right where you are, yes, and then there would be one in the same spot on the opposite side.
Okay. And I see anything.
Anything that might be worth the trip? Nope. It looks all bookish.
All right.
That was a 25, just so you know.
Love that. Okay. I do believe that should about use my phone.
All right. Narsa. Is going to try to determine if the window can be opened or not. Is it locked? She does that with a simple push. You hear nothing? But you can see that her shadow passes. You can see through to where,
I can still see the window.
yeah. And you can see that she just goes.
Okay.
That is her turn.
Okay.
Christmas.
I go on back.
Okay. There should be okay.
What is your evasion?
9. Yeah, 9.
Bad night for you.
Will the bucket get me again?
Nothing's going right. Not the bucket. Draco.
Yeah.
It's your action.
Unresolved. Love that.
This is how you build tension.
No shit. The Draco's gonna wander this way. And yeah, let me go. Just use my next turn to examine that house.
Gotcha. Narsa.
Yeah, that's right at the edge of
Not having very much luck. She's going to find herself to do that for that residence. And on her next turn, she will do the same. Christmas.
I keep moving, oblivious to whatever the fuck's going on.
You can get 15 feet. 5, 10, 15. And as you are about to begin turning the corner, you hear. And I need you. It's 1d8 plus 3 is 5 hit points. Now here you will go to resolve damage. Calculate damage, right? 5. Up and enter raw damage number. You enter 5 units. Now, if you do that, if you do nothing, you will simply take a hit point. However, if you use an armor slot, you can elect to not take any damage and go down by 1 of your armor slots. It will be automatically marked off.
Okay.
It is your choice. Do you want to take the hits, or do you want to have your armor take your hit for you?
Let's do the armor.
All right, use the armor slot, apply. And your armor slot is marked off. Good, good, good. All right. You feel, you hear that sound. And as you turn to try to figure out what that sound means, you feel like somebody punching you on your shoulder. And boom, it kind of spins you back towards where the direction that you were headed. And you kind of walk into the corner post of the horse's stall. And off over by the compass points on the map there, you hear, if you were to drop that on the floor, as it skitters away from you.
You got hit by it.
Oh, okay. I just heard Skitter, and I'm like, did a fucking like rat sucker punch?
Yes, he fired a squirrel at you.
And he was an angry squirrel.
Alright.
That was a successful hit. And so the spotlight stays with me, which means you hear him go, he just picks up a handbell. Bing, 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 bing.
Okay.
And you hear it, we hear it. It's possible that people inside the tavern heard it. But if there are anybody else in the area that aren't immediately being drowned out by the noise of the tavern, they are absolutely hearing it as well. Draco.
Yep. So here's the thing. Hanging in. Not necessarily knowing what's going on or who got seen. I can't see Miss Mercil over there, can I? From around the corner.
Let me just do a stealth check here and see. You can see her.
Encouraging. Okay. So I know it's not her that's been alarmed. And I don't feel like I've been the one seen. So I'm going to start looking at this way, making for the main road out.
Sure. What is your evasion?
Yeah.
Narsa. Same sitch. Same sitch. Boom, boom, boom.
We made eye contact. He said,
Essentially, yeah.
It's not me, it's not you. Fucking Chris, right?
So that's the book. It's on you.
Runlers, gripping my shoulder, going ow.
All right. He needs to fear die this time.
Who is that towards?
Cops. Same. 6 points on Chris's. Another arrow.
Armor did you get Chris's in?
Everybody's got leather.
Everybody.
Well, these two do. I didn't do you. So you have leather too?
I'm gonna use an armor slot.
Gotcha. That puts you at 2. Yep. All right. Seems like you might be in the clear. Filing out of this house. 3 guys. They don't look like they're uniformed.
Okay.
They do look like they're armed. Let's find out. Do you want to try to do a stealth check or an agility check to duck to run away? Do you want to just? I will let you approach this how you choose to approach this.
Seeing them come out from in front of me, I'm going to try and dodge in between the stall and the thing.
Gotcha.
It's gonna be a stealth
Stealth.
or an agility to hide.
That's what it sounded like. Okay, go ahead.
14 with hope.
Mark that hope.
I can't.
You're already full up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have no fear. I cannot activate. I have to wait for one of you guys to fail an action check or roll with fear. Narsa. Hearing that door open as she's rounding this corner, she just hugs this wall and gets to this point here. She does not have any range, so she can't actually do anything at this point other than look out for where she saw you duck in between the cart and the building. Chrysis.
Keep going.
Booking it.
Sorry, I'm booking it.
No worries, completely understandable. However, from an elevated range, even though a longbow is far, I'm going to give him one more attack on.
Okay.
I'm using my hope die. He's already hit you twice. That was a 7 He's got a +1 to his attack, which makes it an 8. What is your evasion?
9.
You are in the clear. It just goes. It's pretty close though. You hear it whizzing just over the side of your head. But you are in the clear.
That has just enough to get her rounded.
Draco.
I'm going to try and come around this way. Back the way I originally came.
Gotcha.
Have a prize. Not super happy with it, but I have a thing.
Right. All right. You're comfortable with that amount of move?
Yeah, that's before I have to start rolling.
Okay. Narsa is going to attempt to stealth across the street. Two of the guys who came out look like they're moving to follow where they heard the arrows flying. But that guy there is still looking around because he's not convinced that's where because it was all they heard was a bell. Two guys heard an arrow flying. That guy did not because he was the last one out the door. So Narsa's stealth check. Critical success on 8s. She makes it all the way across and up to, yes. All right.
So this would be Chris's turn.
Chris, yeah, you're just going to keep on booking. You are in the clear. There's nobody that can catch up to you. You're essentially lost in the woods.
I'm gonna hold off there and just wait. I'm gonna stay hidden, but like
As
wait.
round the hill as she can without being too far ahead.
Gotcha.
Make sure everybody's catching up.
That means Draco.
Draco doesn't know about that. But Draco is going to come about here, headed towards that same hill.
You're not a direct threat, so I'm not paying fair to put him out, but it has been long enough since the alarm went off.
Yeah.
And Narsa, because she is ever ballsy, is going to take her turn to inspect the tool cart. She finds something good too.
I unburied her for her.
Yeah, apparently. That was a 91.
I unburied it for her. It was underneath the satchel of chisels I picked up.
So what is it? It is a level.
Ooh. So
Right? It's gotta be it's gotta be. It's a glass tube bubble level that yeah.
okay.
So this is like an artifact of construction that she has found. So she pockets that motherfucker. And that is her turn.
Okay. Chilling.
Yep.
Villain.
Chilling like a villain. I won't move them because I don't have any fear, but I'm gonna go ahead and advance these guys a little bit. You comfortable with that?
Yeah.
All right. Narsa. She is going to agility check to do a sprint to try to get closer to you. It might actually, at that distance, might actually catch up with you.
No, I didn't, because I'm going to realize I'm out of town now.
Oh, okay.
But there was a person behind me who is not behind me anymore.
Yeah, you had said you were by not moving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. That was how I interpreted it, and so I just went,
I just wanted to make sure.
okay. Agility check. She's got a +1 for a 17. And because I didn't choose a 15, 16, 17. So if that was a 15 there, 17 there. She is good, so we're gonna go ahead and move her. Effectively, like maybe 10 feet behind. Okay. Christus, you want to do anything? Are you happy with where you are? You just saw the shadow of Drakko emerge.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay put. Kind of keep just a lookout to see what else I see out there.
Okay. So, these guys once again no direct threat, but it would be. Excuse me.
Now that I have put eyes on Narsa, I'm gonna start.
Gotcha. You're booking it.
Yeah.
Can I ask please for a finesse, please, because we have passed back within easy eye shots
Yeah.
of the longbowman.
Ooh. That is a 12 with fear. Eesh.
They're on high alert. I take a fear. And
That's
that
what you
means
needed.
that's where, yeah, exactly. And I am going to take that immediately back. And I am going to, I don't have to, they just get to because they're adversary.
Didn't move myself from here. So
No, you're fine. That wasn't for you. These guys are gonna move to the end of their, of that bar. That is their action.
that's
Narsa. Yes.
the packed house for one bed.
It was the barracks. So yeah, it was like I said, I didn't look at the undersides of these.
Hell of a bunk bed.
It's 6 guys tall. Narsa was planning on well no, she would still be at a dead sprint, so yeah, but she is going to do an agility check to stop the sprint.
Okay.
She's
We're a little off in that.
Huh?
So we're a little off in that.
That's all right. We're in the theater of the mind now, people.
Yeah.
That was a 19 with fear.
Cool.
So, and I am going to go ahead and pay that immediately, and those two guys are going to hear her charging up, whip around. They're within close range of her, so they're going to close, and they're going to do a minion attack. Those are cell swords.
Around you. Do we want to hold this until tomorrow?
If we want to, do you have work tomorrow?
She does not have work tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome. Then we can pray that
Leave it as is.
the cat doesn't fuck everything up overnight.
We will.
But that's the worst thing we have to worry about. So all right, and we'll begin with the minions group attack in the morning. Yeah.
And one of them, do you guys want to keep going until finishing this little bit?
Sure.
I'm fine with that. I'll just have,
What's this?
yeah. Just kind of stay there just waiting.
Waiting to regroup.
Finally, yeah.
Okay.
gets everybody there. That way you guys can still kind of finish this little.
Sure, it's up to Bex.
I think it would be more entertaining to have you here and seeing what's going on. I
Okay.
know you're not super involved right now, but you could make a decision that has Chris coming to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So
All right. Then I am pausing now.